Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name remains Sarafina Napoleon. A big shout out to everyone who's already subscribed to this channel, and for those who are yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button like right now. Please click the subscribe button. This channel is where we talk about studying and living in America with a special focus, or should I say interest, on people that has got HND at undergraduate level, because I'm on the same table. Yeah, I know the feeling, right? But it's great to be here, and today we'll be looking at a list of schools. I've got like over 50 schools, yeah, that accept HND for a master's and for a PhD program. And also we'll be talking about how you would have to navigate your way once you confirm if the course you want to study has been offered at a particular university. So if you know you're unstable, I need you to stick around because I'll be right back. The question right now is, what do I need to do? Sarafina, what is the next thing to do? How do I start off the process? The first thing to do, the first way to go about it is getting the list of schools. Yeah, so I've got like a list of a lot of schools that accept HND for a master's and a PhD program, and I'll be sharing the schools with you. But before I do that, I need you to understand something. When you get the list of schools, I know sometimes information can be overwhelming, because I was once in that position where I was like, this person is saying another thing, this one is saying another thing, what should I do? Or too many informations. But the thing is, you don't have to apply to all the schools. I don't even think anyone can, because we're talking about over 50 schools and you want to apply to over 50 schools. It's not possible, because first of all, there's the financial constraint, because you've got to pay for application fees. Sometimes it could be $60, $70, just like that. So the thing is, first off, when you get the list of these schools, you need to go. It's a lot of work. Yeah, you have to put in a lot of work, because I would never sit here, I would never subscribe, I would never advocate for someone to pay someone to do an application process for them, even though some people do it. But I'm not someone who's gonna talk about that, because I believe in you putting in the work. When you do stuff yourself, you tend to appreciate it more, and you tend to understand the process. Like myself, I did everything on my own. So imagine a situation where I had to pay people to do mine. I would not be sitting down here doing this video in the first place, because I would not even know what they had to do or how they navigated the process. So please, I need you to do stuff on your own. It's challenging, it's demanding, it is time consuming. Sometimes it is mentally sapping, because I've been there. So you have to make up your mind on how you want to attack it, but you have to do it yourself. So you could also pay it forward, like try to put other people through when the need arises. So that's basically, say we rise by lifting others. So if you don't do it yourself, you would not be in a position to lift others, because it might be like, I paid money, so you should go meet so person, pay to them and they do it for you. So when you get the list of the schools, you would have to go to the website of those schools and check for the course you want to offer. Yeah, because some of these schools, they might offer your course at undergraduate level, but the course might not be at master's level, while they can have the course at master's level and PhD level, but there are chances that you might not even find the course at undergrad level. So sometimes it's not like because the school is there, you must see your course. No, you might not see your course at master's level, you might see it at PhD level, and also at undergraduate level. So you need to check out the school's website, go to the courses and confirm if they have that course at master's or PhD level, depending on whichever you want to do. Then after that, it's also important while you're checking if they have the course at master's or PhD level, you need to check if it is an online option. Yeah, because sometimes you see courses and you're like, yeah, they have this course, they offer this course at this school, and you now start talking about online, because they're not going to give you funding for an online course. No. How do you pay them back? So if it's an online course, is a no. An online course, you can't go to the embassy and say you want to get a visa and go to the US to study, because it's online. You could literally take the classes from wherever you are. So you need to be sure the course is not online. It's strictly online. You need to have like an in-class session, like on campus. It's got to be on campus. So anything online, please take it out. It's not an option for you. If you know you want to move to the United States, if you know you want to study in the United States, take out the online option. Then another thing you need to check after confirming if they do the course on campus and the rest, you go to the language section. Yeah, you know, there's always a stop that international English language test. Yeah, you have to take the test. Some schools will tell you that Nigeria is among the English speaking countries, so there is no need for you to take the test. But there are some that you have to take the test. Yeah, you have to take the test. So you have to check if you need to take the test, because some schools will tell you there's no need for a test because you qualify. But for some schools, you have to take the test, even if you're coming from an English-speaking country like Nigeria. They don't care. So long Nigeria is not among the list of countries on the school's website, you do not have a choice. So that one is also another thing. Like for myself, I didn't take the test because when I was doing my process, I looked at for certain things. I went on the website. Once I confirmed that my course was being offered at a school, the next thing I did was to check for the international English language test requirements. If Nigeria is not among the English-speaking countries, I chalked it off my list because I wasn't ready to spend that amount on international English language test, because it's not like it's wrong. It is actually great. It puts your application in a good position. But at the time, I had financial constraints. I was like, more money no day, you understand? So I was trying to cut costs, and to God be the glory, it worked for me. So you have to check. If you have not written the test and you know you don't have plans to, you have to check if Nigeria is among the English-speaking countries. So after checking that, the next thing you have to move forward to is to check the GRE. Yeah, like also for me, I always, when I talk, I would always make reference to myself, because I didn't know anything until I did the process myself. During my time, my school was waiving GRE. They're still waiving GRE up until now. To this, I think it's in like next 4, something like that. I'm here to confirm. So there was no need for me to write the GRE. So my school ticked all the boxes for me. They had funding, they had Nigeria was among the English-speaking countries, and they were waiving GRE. So it's not like they don't require GRE, but at the time, they were waiving it for all courses. So I just quickly had to use that as a window to get in and submit my application. So you have to check. And also, if you check and they require GRE, you do not have to feel bad or disappointed because you don't have plans to write GRE. The reason is sometimes they can also provide provisional waiver. Like if you qualify for a waiver, they would waive it for you if you inquire. So if you go on the website and you see GRE and you feel like, oh, I don't have money to do this, I'm really low on cash right now, I've got a small budget, what you have to do is email the graduate coordinator for that particular course. The graduate coordinator is in a better position to tell you if they would waive it and the conditions on which they would waive the GRE. So do not feel bad or disappointed when you find that you require GRE and you're not ready to. It's simple. Send the graduate coordinator an email. So when you're sending an email, there's no need going through putting too many things in together. Just go straight to the point, introduce yourself, and ask for a waiver. Now, when you're asking for a waiver, you need to sell yourself very well. You need to let them know that you qualify for a waiver of GRE. For some schools, GRE waiver qualification has got to do with your years of experience. So if you have a particular number of years, some would say 2 years after graduation, some would say 3 years, some would say 4, some would say 5. So it's not constant at the end of the day. So you need to put it out there that I am qualified for this. So when sending that email, after introducing yourself, you say like, you want to find out if GRE can be waived, and you have so and so years of experience in this particular field, which is likely to be what you're going for. So when they look at that, they'll be like, okay, it qualifies for a waiver because it's got a particular number of years of experience. So you need to put that. There are always conditions, there are always provisions for you to like navigate your way and come in through the back door at the end of the day. But the thing is, are you ready to do that? Are you ready to take those opportunities? So send an email to inquire if it can be waived. Sometimes they do waive IELTS, but it's hard. It's very hard. I don't think I've seen a case. Because during my process, one of the schools I reached out to, and I was like, can I was taught in English in Nigeria, and I would love a waiver of the International English Language Test. And they're like, no, we're not waiving that. So you'd have to take the test, otherwise we're not going to consider your application. So it's always harder for you to get like International English Language Test scores waiver. I'm not sure it happens because I've not seen anyone, but for the GRE, they do waive GRE, and I'm talking from experience. So you make those inquiries. You need to ask. Like I already said, one thing you need to do is check for your course on the website of the school. Then the next thing, after checking and confirming that they offer the course, then you check if it is online or on campus, because if it is online, don't do it unless you have plans to just do it from your home and pay for it, because they're not going to give you funding if you're taking an online course. They give you funding if you're taking an on-campus course, because you have to do 1 or 2 jobs for them, talking about the department or the graduate college or whatever, because you have to do 1 or 2 jobs for them at the end of the day. So that's the only way you can get the funding and the assistantship at the end of the day. So when you confirm that your course is being offered on campus, the next thing you do is move to the English language requirements page and check. There's always a list of countries that's considered English speaking in the first place. So you go through the list, and if you spot Nigeria, then you know that you've gotten past that hurdle of writing a test. There will be no need for you to write a test again. Then after that, you move to the program requirements. The program requirement, for some, you're gonna see things like GRE. So when you see GRE, sometimes they put the conditions for a waiver on the website, on that particular page. But if there is no condition for a waiver, you email the graduate coordinator. That person has all the information about that particular course of that particular faculty and the rest. So you email the graduate coordinator, make your case, and make the inquiries for you to know if they can waive it or if they cannot waive it. Very, very important. Also, another thing that they tend to ask for is a sample writing. I've been getting email on sample writing and how to go about it. For me, what I submitted as my sample writing for my master's program was my undergraduate project. It was my undergraduate project. All I did was to convert the project. I already had the project itself, so I took it to a cafe, and they had to convert from hard copy to soft copy. So when they did that, I had to just run it on Grammarly, check for errors if there is any, because I'm not quite sure. I just needed to ensure that I was 100% spot on. So I did run it on Grammarly to be sure to check for errors and the rest. So you can actually use your undergraduate project for your sample writing. It's basically accepted a lot, so that should not be a problem, but you need to have that as well. Now back to your talk about the whole process. The thing is, when you come across this list, it might look like the names are too much. So this is what I would suggest. So imagine a list that's got like 15 names of schools. You could look up 10 first of all. Yeah, it works. You could look up 10 first of all and see if you meet any of the requirements. So when you check the requirements and you're like, yeah, I'm in a good place, I meet many of these requirements, I will not have to spend money to register for a GRE or International English Language Test, then you mark it. Yeah. So during my process, I had like a jotter, like a book where I had names. I had over 20 names. Yeah, 20 schools. So I had a book. So when I check and I know that I qualify for one, I just go with a tick, like, yeah, this is gonna work. For the ones that I know that I do not qualify, I just do like that. So just to help me arrange everything at the end of the day. So some of the list of the schools, you've got Bowling Green State University, which is where I school. West Virginia University, I also applied to that school. Western Illinois University as well is there. You've got Georgia State University, California State University. Like, they have a lot. So now they have a lot. So on the screen right now, you could see the list of the schools there. I would also share like a document much later, or you could easily shoot me an email and I will forward you a document if you want it in document form. But on the screen right now, you could see the list of schools, different names of schools as well that you could pick from. And trust me, it's not a must that you would reach out to 20 schools or 30 schools. No, it is not a must. It is all about you narrowing down your search. So what's you could decide to use application fee as a parameter if you qualify for the particular school and you feel like, oh, this school, the application fee is higher compared to this other one. You could also consider funding after reaching out to the graduate coordinator to ask if there is funding. But most of the time, there's always funding which comes in form of graduate assistantship. You could use funding as a parameter. You could also use the International English Language Test scores as a parameter. But the thing is, or whatever parameters you are using, you need to be sure that your course is being offered at master's level and on campus. Please, guys, do not forget, many of the master's programs are being offered online. Online is a no-go area because you would not be able to get funding for an online course from the school at the end of the day. So it's got to be on campus. Please, important, on campus. So things you need to check: the course, if it's been offered. I'm going to run through it again. The course, if it's been offered at the particular level, master's or PhD, if you want to do PhD, because you can do PhD with your HND. The course, if it's been offered at the level you want to study. The next thing you check is the option. Is it online or on campus? You check for that. You head over to the language requirement page to check if Nigeria is among the English-speaking countries. After that, you head over to confirm if they require GRE. If they do not require GRE, hallelujah. If they require GRE, it's simple. No need to panic. Email the graduate coordinator to ask if you can get a waiver and the conditions for a waiver. So guys, these are important things you need to put into consideration when going out there, when trying to turn in those applications. Now, I've given you a list of schools, of over 50 schools that you could pick from. Now it is up to you to actually make that move, make the inquiries for 2023. Before you know, it's here. So this is the time you need to put in those applications together. This is the time you need to submit the application. This is the time you need to get the materials together, because it is very, very important. Things you need to get: your passport, your transcript, your CV, sometimes they require for certificate. Like me, I did submit mine at the time as well. Your statement of purpose. So in our next video, we will be talking about putting together your CV and your statement of purpose together. Yeah, your CV and statement of purpose, we'll be talking about that in our next video, because that's also another important part of your application. Some people have also been asking me, do I need to send an email to a professor in the program I want to offer? That, for me, I would always use myself as a case study, because that's where my experience came from. I did not email any professor. I did not contact anyone at the school before I got my funding or before I got my admission. The only person I was in contact with was a graduate coordinator, because she had all the information that I needed at the time of my application. So yes, you can actually get admission, you can actually get funding without contacting a professor or a supervisor or anyone one in the department. You can get that funding as well by contacting those professors, because sometimes the funding in schools varies. Sometimes the funding comes from the department itself, other times it comes from the college, sometimes it comes from the graduate college. So it's all down to how it works. For mine, it was not like from the school or the graduate college. I was offered the assistantship from my department. So my department communicated the funding decision to me when it was time. So I did not, I would say this again, I did not email a professor to ask if there's funding in this in his lab or whatever. I do not work in a lab. I am a graduate teaching assistant. What I do is grade, students, teach, and the rest. So that is what I do. Also, let me put this out there: I did not write GRE. I did not write International English Language Test. I did not do that. I did not contact a professor. The only thing I did during my application, what I did was to narrow down my searches. What I did was to contact the graduate coordinator, and I asked pertinent questions that I know I needed answers to, that would aid my application. So in sending out that email, you need to be straightforward, you need to be strategic, you need to know what you want to achieve with the email, because I don't want to open up my email in the morning and I am seeing like an episode in my inbox, and I'm like, where do I start reading this from? And I'm going through the first two sentences and I'm not seeing anything tangible. I'll just move on to the next email, because you've got a lot of emails to attend to. So put that person you're sending that email to, put yourself in the position of that person and ask, this email, would I want to read this episode at the end of the day? So you need to go straight to the point, introduce yourself, and sell yourself in a few sentences. Ask questions in a few sentences so you could get the right answer at the end of the day. So I've given you a list of the schools. They are on the screen as well. So right now it is left to you, it is up to you rather, to make that big move, because there is no time. I started my application process sometime in September last year, and I'm in the US this year. So this is like the window for you. You still have time to apply, because most of these most schools will tell you, for you to be considered for funding, you need to turn in your application at most by December deadline, December 1st or something like that. But for some schools, they review those applications on a rolling basis, like my school. So please, I need you to make use of this information. Yeah, whatever the information I've shared in this video today, you have to make use of it, because I want to see you in the United States, people. I really want to see you here. It's all about lifting others. It's all about making a way for other people, because I understand the challenge. I was once in that particular position, and I know what it feels like. So please, I am here to help you. If you need any information, you could just send me an email. My Twitter DM is closed right now. I've got too many messages and it's becoming overwhelming for me. And I've also got school stuff to take care of as well. So just send me an email and I would respond. An email is better at the end of the day, and I would respond with your questions. Or you could tweet at me as well at Fina Napoleon on Twitter. Tweet at me and I would also respond to your tweet. But the next video will be on writing your statement of purpose, SOP like they call it, and also how to craft your CV for it to get that attention you want it to get. Those two things are very, very important in your application process. And also we'll talk about how to get recommendations letter from your lecturer and the rest. I did not use any lecturer, so now next episode of this will be very, very entertaining and informative, because I would also let you know, like I just mentioned, I did not use any professor because I graduated like how many years ago, so there was no way I could have contacted any of my lecturers. I will tell you how you would navigate that. If you do not have a lecturer, you could reach out to write a recommendation letter for you, and what you need to put into consideration when putting that recommendation letter together. So guys, thank you for watching. Please click the subscribe button and share this video. Tell people. It's all about bringing people with HND to the United States. That's what Sarafina Napoleon lives for. That's what I want to do. So share this video, click subscribe to this channel, because this is what we need to do. We need to spread the word. We need to let people know that it's not just all about having a BSc. With a master's, with an HND rather, sorry, with an HND, you can get to the United States to study for a master's, just like Sarafina Napoleon. So guys, I would see you next time. Yeah. So before to then, please ensure you stay safe, and please do not sleep on this information. Use this information. Yes, use this information. Use this information. Bye.